All right, I'm here with Andrew from Arcos Brazil, and we've just gone through a whole bunch of bows to select bows for our polished customers. And we have the opportunity to ask a few questions. So thanks for being here.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So my first question is, what is Arcos Brazil? What do you do there?
So I am the national account sales manager for Arcos Brazil. We are a bow maker based in Brazil, but our shops here in the U.S. are in Tempe, Arizona. So that's where we work out of. It's a relatively small company, but that's a big part of why I like being there. It's a wonderful company to work with. As far as who Arcos Brazil is, like I said, we're a bow maker. We also offer instruments, rosin, all the little things that go along with that. But our bread and butter is definitely going to be the bows. That's what we're best known for. We have a long history and a good tradition of making bows, being very consistent, outstanding playing bows all the way through our lineup. All of our makers are in one shop in Brazil, where they've been since 1997, I believe. And they all work from one pile of wood, which allows us to be very consistent with our processes. And we've refined that, and we continue to refine that to make the bows as good as we possibly can through the leadership of Vito Vistacaro, who's our master bow maker, and Celso de Mello, who runs the shop in Brazil. They're just a fantastic group, and yeah.
Love to hear that. And I was wondering, we hear about Pernambuco, Brazil, the home of Brazil. The home of Pernambuco. Can you tell us kind of about your bow makers?
So the bow makers, we got 5 bow makers working out of our shop down there. They're all trained by Vito Vistacaro. And Vito has been trained in turn as you go, through these processes. He was trained by Charles Espy, among other people. Some of our members, one particular maker went to work with Pierre Guillaume, and he went there to learn a couple things that Vito thought he would help benefit the company, and he brought that back. And that's kind of the culture that all of our makers have. They tend to work very closely together. They're physically located together, but they also help each other with, if somebody's got some trouble on one bow, they will help the other guy out with showing him something, a little better way to do something, and they all kind of trade off on their little secrets, and that's what kind of helps makes us who we are, makes them better bow makers, and to kind of keep that tradition. And we always have a couple guys in the waiting that are trying to become bow makers that are maybe doing something a little bit, earlier on in the process with making blanks or cutting down the boards. So it's a process, and it's a group that will be continuing on for a long time to come.
It's amazing to hear. And just one final question. We hear this a lot from our customers. Brazil is a home of Pernambuco, but the field is changing, and Ipê is being used for bows
Yeah.
now. Can you tell us a little bit about what Ipê is?
Sure. Ipe is another Brazilian hardwood. It is far more prevalent around the world. As you know, Pernambuco grows in a very narrow sliver in a very small spot in Brazil. And Ipe is quite a bit more available. It's over the years historically been used for making decking, which kind of speaks to the resilience of the wood. There are 30 plus different species of Ipe. We use 2 very specific ones that Celso and Vito found to be the best for doing what we do. And they went out and purchased 20 plus years of supply of the wood, so that we know exactly what we're working with at all times. But as far as like Ipe versus Pernambuco, as most people know, Pernambuco is endangered according to the Brazilian government. So their group there called IBAMA, which is more or less their version of our Fish and Wildlife Department here in the United States, put a ban on exporting of the material, any kind of Pernambuco in any shape. So we were forced to pivot to a different option, and Ipe was that best option after all of the searching that we did. That's what we came up with. And it's proven to be a very good wood for doing what we do. It is a little trickier to work with. I don't think anybody denies that, but the end product speaks for itself. Our bows are still going all over. We have a global presence even with our Ipe bows. And it's been fantastic for us, really. We have customers that have actually told us they like our Ipe bows better than our Pernambuco bows. They really appreciate the warmer sound that they can do create with the Ipe. So it's been a great experience for us. We're very happy with the choice that we've made, and we've obviously jumped in with both feet with the amount of wood that we bought. But the customer feedback is, that's really the main reason we're doing it, is to get people back to where they expect us to be.
Absolutely. And I'll just say, even having played through the bows that we've had at eBay, and playing through this new bunch that we've just gone through over the last hour, fantastic. I mean, really just fantastic options for all levels of player. So we're really excited about having a new crop for our bottom
Yeah,
customers.
yeah, we're excited to have them here. Potter's has been an amazing customer to work with. They have a fantastic crew here, incredibly knowledgeable. There's a lot of experience here, so it's not hard to see why they do as well as they do. So you can't really go
Appreciate
wrong
that.
with the Potters at all.